Are you looking for a vacation home here in gorgeous Flagstaff, Arizona, or the surrounding areas? Then stay tuned for my top 5 tips that you will want to pay attention to when looking for the right vacation home for you. Hi, Jacki Tait with Team 323, Realty One Group Mountain Desert here in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. You're here today because you're doing a little bit of research on what it takes to purchase a vacation home in northern Arizona. And today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips to make sure that you're not hitting any unforeseen pitfalls when doing so. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified anytime we upload content. We like to keep you up to date in terms of what's going on in the Flagstaff, Arizona real estate market, as well as the surrounding areas, and we give you tips, tricks, tools of trade, all sorts of good stuff. So thanks for joining me. Let's jump into the top 5 things you need to know when purchasing a vacation home in Flagstaff or the surrounding areas. Number 1 is to know your goals. After all, not all houses are created equal. And for an outdoor enthusiast who wants to come up and hit the trails during the day and just enjoy sitting on the deck in the nice peace and quiet and watch the stars at night, well, you're gonna want a different type of house than the avid golfer who wants to enjoy the clubhouse scene at night instead. So know what your goals are, and that's gonna have a big impact on the type of house that you choose. Number 2 is to research restrictions. This is incredibly important. But when you're looking to purchase a home that you want to use for a specific reason, you need to know what restrictions exist within that home's CC&Rs to be able to know if you can actually do what you want to do in that home. Many of the different areas in Flagstaff and the surrounding areas may have a homeowners association or an HOA. And when you have that, you're going to have an added level of restrictions as to how you use your property, as well as an additional payment that you're going to owe either on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. And you want to know, what are you getting for that additional fee? Sometimes when people are looking for a true lock and leave, having it in an HOA is a great thing. A townhouse or a condo in an HOA where you're just paying the monthly dues and they're maintaining the exterior, the roof, they're holding the blanket insurance, they're taking care of snow removal, all that type of stuff, that might be something that's important to you. On the other hand, you may be looking for a home where you're really not given a lot of restrictions at all. Maybe you want to be able to park your boat on the side of the house or use your home as a vacation rental. And that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you click on this video where I talk about the top tips on purchasing a home that you plan to use as a short-term rental. But the most important factor, if you're just looking for a vacation home for you to use personally, is just to make sure that whatever your goals are, like we talked about in step 1, that there's no restrictions that are going to prohibit you from enjoying the home the way that you want to. Number 3, ask the professionals. Make sure you are working with seasoned professionals who are well-versed in vacation home ownership. As a realtor, I stay up to date on the latest trends as well as the local laws where vacation home ownership is concerned. I also happen to be a vacation homeowner myself with experience in renting out my second home as a vacation rental. So there's a lot of different layers there. So make sure that the professional you're working with is well versed and able to help you navigate all the potential pitfalls. Now, I'm not just talking about your real estate professional, but also the other professionals you will need to help you navigate the process. Your insurance agent, your lender, your accountant. There are so many different people who are going to help you with the process, and I think it's very important that you're working with somebody who understands the unique aspects of owning a vacation home. Okay, now it's time for a super shameless plug. Did you know that on Team 323, there are actually 4 of us that specialize in working with vacation homeowners? Furthermore, did you know that 3 of us own vacation homes ourselves and are experienced in using that second home that we own and using it as a short-term rental when we're not there? So if you are looking for a second home in the Flagstaff or surrounding areas in northern Arizona, definitely reach out to Team 323. We've got your back and can guide you along the process. Okay, back to my tips. Number 4, set your budget. There's a lot more to owning a second home than just the cost of the house itself. Obviously, you need to budget for utilities, any HOA fees, that type of thing. But on top of it, how do you plan on enjoying your vacation home? Hey, if you're coming up to Flagstaff because you are an avid skier, then you need to make sure that you've budgeted the amount for your annual ski passes for you and your family when you're here. Are you coming here because you're a golfer? Well, obviously you want to make sure that you have the cost of your golf membership as well as your monthly dues, your minimum requirement to spend in the clubhouse, all that type of thing budgeted in as well. Here in Flagstaff, you will need somebody on call who can shovel the snow as well as do yard maintenance during the summertime. Just some different things that you definitely need to be aware of and make sure you're setting the right budget. Number 5 is to know your exit strategy. I can't stress this one enough. What will you do with the property when you no longer want to use it as a vacation home? A lot of times people forget when they jump in that eventually they're gonna wanna jump back out. And so what will you do with the property? If you intend to sell it for a profit, then it's really important that you're paying attention to key resale factors. You may not care about some of the property's quirks. However, somebody purchasing it on the flip side will. So it's really important that you're working hand in hand with your agent. Let your real estate agent know what your exit strategy looks like. That way the agent knows how they can best help you. One example is maybe you're going to buy a great place that has an outdated kitchen and bathroom. Maybe that doesn't bother you at all and you're figuring that as a second home, that's fine, you're not going to spend that much time there anyway. Well, just be aware that when you do turn around to sell that home, buyers are going to be looking at that lack of updates. So maybe it's one of those things that over the course of time as you own that property, you do put it at some point into your budget to make those upgrades so that you can get the most out of it on the flip side. That's one thought process. Or maybe you will turn it into a full-time rental, whether that looks like renting it out on a long-term basis or just turning it into a vacation rental all the way around. Now, if that's the situation, understand what your loan program is, because if you're purchasing it on a second home loan program, there may be restrictions or penalties against turning it into a rental later. So it's just important that you are communicating your goals with the professionals that are helping you. I also find that a lot of first-time vacation home buyers actually are looking for just something small that later on down the road they can go ahead and sell in a couple of years and upgrade should they find they are actually getting up to using their second home as often as they anticipate. And then on the flip side, if they're not able to make it up as often as they'd like, having kind of an entry-level home, they know that they can sell that and unload it fairly easily in any market here in Flagstaff. Entry-level housing is always a good commodity to have your hands on. No matter how you intend on using your vacation home, I think that Flagstaff and the surrounding areas are a fantastic place to live. After all, in Flagstaff, we have a small town feel, but did you know that we get over 5 million visitors a year just because of where we are located on your way to the Grand Canyon or other northern Arizona attractions? And let's face it, when it's 115 degrees down in the Phoenix area, Flagstaff looks like a great escape. So it's a great place to be with lots of different ways to enjoy. And so if you're looking for a second home in northern Arizona, you can't beat Flagstaff. If you want a little bit more in-depth information, I do have an article that I wrote and it's on our website at flagstaffplaces.com and I'll link to that below. So make sure you're checking that out if you want to dig a little bit deeper into the 5 tips that we just talked about here today. Definitely have your back when it comes to vacation homeownership in Flagstaff and the surrounding areas. I'm Jackie Tait, and until next time, bye-bye. Now, before we get started, make sure to here in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. Beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. I sound like an idiot. All right, one more time for the cheap seats in the back. If I do a little dance party in between each one.